Yes, we are live. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the First Fortnight live. It's a terrible sentence. My name is Maysa. I am the First Fortnight volunteer, and we are here with our amazing volunteer and MC of the online table quiz, Stephen Behan. How are you?
Hi, Maysa. I'm good. I'm really good. Thanks. Yeah. A little nervous, but also excited. So I'm good, though.
No, that's okay. That's all fine. Welcome everyone that's joining. So, Stephen, from who that doesn't know who you are, doesn't know anything about you, who are you, what you do, what your interests, like present yourself.
Okay. I'm Stephen Behan. Nice to meet you, everybody. It's probably just my family and friends. There's probably about 6 or 7 people on now just watching and leaving comments, I imagine. I am 38 from Dublin, living in Tala in Dublin. Lived in Dublin most of my life, apart from 4 years in Austria. So I was in Austria for 4 years and came back 2.5 years ago and yeah, properly settled back in now to Dublin at the moment. My current occupation is a commercial sales representative for an outdoor furniture company that also sells artificial grass, artificial trees, artificial foliage, and beanbags. So a bit of a mix of things at the moment, and quite a drastic change from teaching English as a foreign language over the last few years, but a nice positive change for me over the last while, to be honest.
That's amazing. And how did you get involved with mental health advocating? Like, when did you start it? Was a motive, event, or you just like, I want to talk about it?
Well, yeah, it was quite drawn out actually. Like in regards to the First Fortnight side of things, like I remember going to like one or two First Fortnight events, like probably 6 years ago or more, before I went to Austria, and always just catching like something at the end of it, or maybe just one free event or something, and always thinking, oh, I wish I had planned ahead, and I wish I had more money, and I wish I had more motivation in January to go to these things, because they were always such really cool events. And then two events previous, so it would have been First Fortnight 2018, the no sorry 2019, they would have done a large sea swimming event down in the 40 foot, like 300 people or something did this sea swimming event. And I had just gotten into sea swimming that Christmas Day with my friend Clodagh, and Maggie and Holly was there as well. We did I jumped on board a charity event, a charity swim on Christmas Day.
Nice.
And it was amazing. It was a really good, positive experience with like lots of amazing people, and it like gave me a real boost on Christmas Day for my mental health. Like it was instant how good it felt, like, you know. And so then the First Fortnight swim was a week or two later, again with loads of amazing people. Again, a really positive change in my mood on that exact day. And it was tied in with a birthday lunch afterwards with my friend Louise down in Glenageary somewhere. And it was just a really, really great day, an unbelievable day that just made me think like, okay, I want to be involved with the sea swimming, and I'd love to be involved with First Fortnight as well, because I just thought they did such amazing events. So yeah, just from that, and also being on my own mental health journey and looking into myself and how things were good and bad for me over maybe the last 10 years or more, and just always wanting to be able to talk about it and not be ashamed of it, and like break the stigma around it, and just like kind of have these conversations, and just kind of push it, you know, and kind of be okay with that. Like, I'm sure I'm a bit too intense for some people, like going on a first date and talking about serious mental health things, like I'm sure has scared
Yeah,
few people
definitely.
off, like but like that's who I am, like, so if you don't like it, then that's too bad, like, you know.
It's necessary the conversation anyway. Like it's a first step. It's a first start.
Hmm.
So the sea swimming was your favorite event. I think changed you in some way.
Yeah, it was that double whammy, like that Christmas Day and that First Fortnight event was just this a bit of a brainstorm for me, and just like, oh my god, like this is like a kind of a magic pill that I can take, you know, and instead of taking medication or taking pills, like, you know. And I just, yeah, I couldn't get enough of it, and it was just, it became part of my mental health routine, and it was tied in quite specifically with reconnecting with friends and developing like or like reconnecting friendships from before, and developing our sea tribe. Like we have our close group of friends that are just going swimming all the time, you know, and it became it became part of my mental health routine to just like always be getting in the water. Like, so it was a real kind of light bulb moment to just kind of experience that and just follow on with that. And that's another thing I never stop talking about is sea swimming. People are also sick about that. Like, I used to teach lots of people from Brazil, like, and they would be
It's not
like,
for us. It's not for
no.
us. Too cold for us.
I know, but we did a swim with the school with Atlas, and we had Jose from Argentina, and there was a girl from Mexico, and there was a girl from Taiwan. There's a few other people came along, and they all had. We did a meditation beforehand, and we all get in the water in February this year, I think, and they were just blown away by it, and they said, "Okay, there's something in this cold water, you know." So if you have the warm water in Brazil all the time, you don't get the same effects for your mindfulness and like shocking you into like just what's happening in that moment. It's like forced mindfulness, I think. Like you have to stop and feel the cold. You get to see what it's like being in the water, like, as opposed to just like watching the sea from the land.
Definitely.
You get to hear the sounds of the water lapping and the people swimming. You get to taste the sea salt, and you can just smell all the different things as well. So like all of your senses are just completely heightened, and the cold is just like boom. You have to feel the cold and nothing else. Like, so.
It's a shock.
Yeah,
And
yeah, exactly.
then just coming like January was amazing. I was there, like the festival was full of new people. And then boom, we get March and a pandemic appears and we
Mm.
say like what's going on. So our lives changed a lot in this last months. Like what's for you to being part of this movement that's the First Fortnight, especially now that we are living these difficult times and
Mm. Yeah. Well, like the to stay connected anyway with First Fortnight, and to kind of like the two things that come to mind was uh, I offered to help with the table quiz as soon as possible. Like we started talking about that back in April or May, I think, is when we first started the conversation about it. And then also at the same time, I was doing like everybody probably did, I was doing a lot of online quizzes, like with one with my family every week, and one with my former colleagues and former students on a Wednesday, you know. And but these were things I was looking forward to, and like I was planning my week like to have like one thing to look forward to every day, you know, like even if it was something small, like having my shopping on that day and having my quiz on this day, and doing different online events, and just yes, trying to stay connected with my friends and my nieces and nephews, and doing art classes and quizzes and bits and pieces. But also the sense of purpose I found from when it was my turn to do the quiz. I could spend a whole day preparing the quiz, you know. I was excited
yeah.
about it. It was distracting me. It was like something to do, something I was good at. And yeah, getting small bits of a sense of purpose from bits and pieces like that, and trying kind of badly to keep a routine when I didn't have a
To keep
job.
you
But
motivated to
yeah, yeah, yeah,
just
yeah,
keep moving. Yeah,
yeah.
that's important.
So I was okay with a weekly routine, but like my daily routine was pretty bad. Like, so.
That's amazing. And do you have any words of wisdom for people that are struggling right now, but how to start to talking about their mental health? Like, do you have anything and any tips like listen to that or talk to your families?
Mhm. Well, I think what comes to mind, I have a poster up here somewhere on my wall, um, and it's kind of it's tuned into something about like reparenting yourself, and there's three aspects of like looking after yourself. One being looking after your body, one being looking after your mind, and another to look after your spirit and or your soul or your things like this, you know, things like that give you a boost and give you purpose and stuff, like, you know. So yeah, like finding routine and purpose in the smallest things, like even like what meals you have on a certain day, or like finding joy and purpose in preparing your own food, like and using that as your sense of kind of purpose each day, like it's just in small things. And then for your soul, like yeah, like making sure to get out and see the nature, and connect with your friends and community and family, and just like trying to have some connection from that, like that feeling of community and friendship that I felt over the last 2.5 years have been huge for me, because I was in a really bad place at the end of my time in Austria, and I was really isolated, and I had not so many people that I was working with anymore were there. I had a couple, like 2 or 3 close friends that were in the vicinity, but I couldn't really call on all the time. And that's changed so much for me in the last 2.5 years, to have like really, really close people that I can call on, like, and I can call like my community and my family that aren't just my family, you know. And also
Mhm.
having my family there, like my mum and dad, um, gave me such huge support when I came back, like when I was like when I really, really needed it, like, and I couldn't ask for any more for that. So those things, like if you can find them, like with looking after your body with those things, looking after your soul in regards, like just like my friend Lucy, I don't know if she's going to be watching, she calls me Curious George, okay? Because I just, like, I will just go off into the park here, and I'll just start walking off some little trail, or do the same up in the mountains, or be off on my mountain bike, and I will just go and explore and be curious, and be childlike, you know, like
Mhm.
be playful, like be creative, like just tune into your inner child for those things, because it's so beneficial for you to just do those things for the sake of it, not for any
Obligation.
yeah, or not for any end goal or thing that you need to achieve at the end. Like I still struggle with my painting, like I really like painting, but I really enjoy the aspect of it, but I'm too critical of my painting when I finish it. I'm like, oh, I made a mistake, oh, I did this, I did that, like, you know. And that's what I'd really try and like to move away from, like, because it doesn't do anything for your self-esteem, like to kind of compare those things, you know. So it
Definitely.
it's something that it's something that one of my heroes always says, Blind Boy, on the podcast. He's like, if you can tell yourself like you're not better than anyone else and nobody else is better than you, because like we're just too complex a thing as human beings, you know. And to put
Yeah.
your value, to put your intrinsic value on something to be better than somebody else, it just gets you nowhere, you know. So that's those type of things like really help me.
That's amazing. Has been a lovely conversation. So just to finish up, I will want some practical things to help the audience like now. So I'm asking you some recommendations, like in 3 aspects: something to read, something to listen to, and something to watch.
Okay, good. So I checked this with you before because I was racking my
Oh,
brain about like this.
don't say that wasn't a surprise. Come on.
Well, it was a test run that we had on Saturday, so I was contemplating it
Yeah.
already, you know. So what was the first one on your list? Something to
Something to read.
something to read. Okay. So again, I have 2 authors to recommend. One being Blind Boy Boat Club and his 2 books of short stories. I think they are just, incredibly written little short stories, really crazy, really off the wall, really full of bad language and inappropriateness and all types of things as well. But he's like nobody else I've ever experienced in his type of writing, and the way he can express himself. They're really amazing. And the same thing goes for, it's actually his favorite author that I wanted to
Mhm.
recommend as well, is Kevin Barry. It's an Irish author. He has books such as Night Boat to Tangiers and Beetlebone, and there's Dark Lies the Island. It was also turned into a film. I didn't see that recently, but that's also a book of short stories, Dark Lies the Island, which I'd really recommend. And the nice thing about Kevin Barry has been, I'm actually reading one of his books to a friend of mine, Helen, in the UK, and I've been reading them since January through like 10-minute voice notes, like over the whole year. So I'm at about like 82% of the book, like on the Kindle, just reading it to her. And it actually, his stuff and Blind Boy stuff as well, I think they sound even better, and you can appreciate them even more when they're being read out loud. Like, I suppose a lot of people listen to Audible and listen to
Mhm.
audiobooks and so on. I don't like Audible so much. I like podcasts, but I don't listen to Audible. But I've been reading this book, and like reading Kevin Barry's sentences as they're written down, they sound so much better. Like they're written to be read out loud. They're really poetic, and the sounding of them leaving your mouth, and there's really long sentences and short sentences, and just like really beautifully put together. So like anything by Kevin Barry and Blind Boy Boat Club, I really recommend. So which was next?
Something to listen to, some album or podcast that you are being listening. You will say the Blind Boy podcast.
It's not going to be a surprise. The two things again I'm going to say. So like, yeah, religiously I listen to Blind Boy every Wednesday. It comes out every Wednesday. I listen to it in the car. I was listening to it earlier on, just washing the dishes. He's amazing. He's another huge influence on my mental health regime has been the sea swimming and listening to him, and the way he talks about his own mental health and breaks down all of these like really heavy, complex like psychologies and things that he started studying and he researches. He's so informative, and he's researched so much, and then he's able to just present them in such a simple way. Like it's like, and I just soak it up. It just really works for me. Like, and people are sick in the face of me talking about him as well, like, in the same conversations.
We have a whole audience right now, so you can talk about
it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So like, it's again, it's not nothing they haven't heard before. Like, so though maybe I have people tuning in, so from Austria and Slovenia, they probably don't know who Blind Boy is. Like, so that will be interesting.
That will be interesting.
Yeah. And then also not a surprise is maybe I'll post it in the comments after, but any mix by the electronic music composer or producer Nicholas Jar from Chile. He's my, like, I'm literally obsessed with the guy. I've seen him 5 or 6 times already, and it's amazing, any of his stuff. So I might post some of his mixes as well.
That's perfect. We do a post, like, if you are not taking notes, that's no problem, guys. We will do a post with all Stephen's recommendations, and it's just to close, something to watch.
Something to watch. What I came up with was a TV show called Atypical. Have you seen it?
No, not yet. Interesting.
So it's on Netflix, and it's just a TV series. I think there's 2 seasons, and it's about the main character is a teenage boy with autism, and his family and his experiences in school and his experiences trying to get a girlfriend and just like living in his own way and how he sees the world and so on. And it's just really, really heartwarming. Like, it's really it's just a really enjoyable thing to watch, and really well told, like, to see it from his point of view. Really difficult to see the family dynamics and stuff, and really, just really emotional. I thought it was really nicely done, and it's really funny as well. It's like, it's really laugh out funny also. And a second one also for that, sorry, that came to mind. I know, I can't, there's too many things.
They will kick us
out. I started watching it again today, and we watched a bit last night with my friend Emma, by the way, the only person I know who talks about fresh coriander like as much as possible in a short space of time. So I just wanted to put a special mention in for her. So Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah. It's just like incredibly well done with animation. It's just mind blowing, like how well it's done. Again, a really heartwarming story, like a guy from Puerto Rico, just a teenager, like becoming Spider-Man and all these things. Really off the wall and entertaining, and just has everything, I think. Like, so I watched it with my sister and brother-in-law and their kids last year, 2 years ago when it came out, and I think I was just bawling, crying in the cinema because it was just like such a nice story, and I think like so yeah. There.
That's
finished.
Amazing. Yeah, I signed this recommendation because the Spider-Verse is amazing.
Excellent. Too. That's a good way to finish up then. So
yeah. So many thanks again for your time, and thank you all that are here with us so far. We know that's a Wednesday, that everyone has another things to do, but it's good to relax and have a chit chat like that. So if you are following us, like getting us in the Instagram page, we have a Twitter page. We will have a bunch of new content coming as we approach the festival right now. So just follow us, give your like there, and thank you again. Let's give you a goodbye, Stephen, for the public. So yeah.
Bye guys. Thanks.
Bye guys. Thank you.
Thanks very much. A special goodbye to Becky over in the UK, who thought that Ireland and England were on different time zones.
Goodbye, Becky. Bye-bye, guys.
Bye, Becky.